People. Que pasa, say what they do. Now the first thing that is popping in the news is my opinion of the whole situation as it pertains to dancehall reggae artist Richie Stephens and that lady from Asia. Her name is Elaine Lim, General Ling, I think her stage name is. Now people, after listening to everybody's side of the story, Richie Stephens, Miss Lim, I have come to one conclusion. And this is based on any sorts of reasonable, well-thinking person, any reasonable jury, the court of public opinion, not the court's legal court where it actually matters. I am giving my opinion based on a sequence of stuff. Now people, I am going to explain why I say that this man, Richie Stephens, he is a psychopath. I am going to tell you why I say that. The traits of a psychopath, they lie. The traits of a psychopath, they are very manipulative. The traits, they use one lie to cover up a next lie. However, people, because of their ego, because of their power, because of the trust that people bestow in them or put in them feel as if them can get away with just about any and everything. So people, like I said, I've listened to everybody's side of the story, and I am convinced that Richie Stephens did something wrong. Would it be guilty in a court of law, especially in Australia, where the latest event on November 12, 2019, yes, occurred? Maybe not. I am going to explain. First incident, based on what Miss Lim and her boyfriend is saying, this took place in Singapore, somewhere Malaysia in that era. They had a show. There was some sort of tour, Richie Stephens and her amongst other persons. After the tour, after that specific show, it was very successful. The boyfriend of Lim, he was the stage manager. He provided the stage. He said that after the show, he noticed Richie Stephens forcing himself on this lady. He had to be restrained. He had to restrain himself. He said that because of the fact that he is a minor in that country, he was glad that he did not do what was in his mind to do. Because based on the rules and law in those places, you know that they are very strict. And if you rush, if you assault a visitor, you might not see the light of day again. However, after that event, it is said that Richie Stephens, his management, he claimed that he was drunk. He went on his knees, he apologized. And because of the trust that this man and the lady had in him, they forgive him for whatever reason. That would prove to be an error, a big mistake. Now people, first incidents. Let me speak about this lady, General Ling, Elaine Lim, whichever one you want to call her, the victim in all of this. People, a lot of women, they are naive. A lot of women, they put their trust in someone, and if they trust that person, they can be easily manipulated. Richie Stephens is a star in this. Miss Lim maybe has aspirations of being a star. She said she puts Richie Stephens on a pedestal. So therefore she might think that, listen, this can be my big ticket into the fame, into the dancehall space, if I play my cards right. So even though this man has some sort of baggage, meaning that him like force himself because people it happened before in a Malaysia or Singapore, like I said before, they forgive him because of her ambitions. Was she clout chasing then? Maybe. But the truth and the fact is that Richie Stephens should have been a professional. Now people, this incident happened, and like I said, it was a tour. They came to Jamaica, meaning Miss Lim and Richie Stephens, and based on the accounts of the boyfriend, he tried it once again. However, the boyfriend was not there. After the first incident in which Richie Stephens apologized profusely, the boyfriend thought that everything was okay. Lim thought that everything was okay. When she came to Jamaica, he did the same thing again. Because of shame, because she felt dirty, she did not say anything to the boyfriend. People, here we go once again. She was naive. She was manipulated. She was psychologically SCREWED by Richie Stephens once again. Now people, fast forward to the incident in question, the big elephant in the room. The incident that occurred November 12th, 2019 in Australia. Like I said, they were on tour, the tour continued. When this incident occurred, like she said, she was there with her next lady. I don't remember that lady's name. She's also from one of those Asian countries. However, this lady was the director of staging. She was like the IT person. So therefore she would edit the show. She would edit the videos, stuff like that. They were staying in an Airbnb in Australia. Her friend was not there. She and Richie Stephens was at the house, at Airbnb to be specific. Now people, let's talk about something that Richie Stephens said in his interview when he was defending himself. He said that there were cameras at the location. People, the truth and the fact is that, based on what this lady is saying, there was no cameras, and even worse, there was no camera in the room. So therefore, even if there were cameras outside, what was taking place in the room. However, the truth and the fact is that Richie Stephens said there were cameras, people, that would prove to be a lie. Now people, let's talk about the night in question once again. The 12th of November 2019. The lady was in her room, in the room Airbnb. She was at the table working. Richie Stephens was, this is based on her account in an interview that she did with Mr. Vegas. Very good interview. Very convincing, informative interview. You could feel her pain. You could see that she was not lying. You could see that she was not clout chasing. So people, she said that she was there. Richie Stephens was sitting in a couch. She heard him talking to a friend about some situation with his mother. And just by eavesdropping, she could tell that something was wrong with the mother. So therefore, Richie Stephens, being the master manipulator, he said that he needed a hug. She was listening to his conversation, even though she was not saying anything. So therefore, she thought that it was okay to give him a hug. Now people, first thing first, remember there were at least 2 incidents. Singapore, Malaysia, and then Jamaica once again. However, it seems as if she did not learn. It seems as if she let her guard down once again. And people, being naive, being fool does not mean that you're supposed to be ABUSED. And I understand where persons are going to say, listen, how could this happen? But people, it happens every day. This is not the first, the second, the third, or even the last time. It is happening more than it is not happening. So therefore, all of you ladies that are always commenting that she wants it, it sounds ignorant, it sounds evil, it does not make any sorts of sense. It does not sound sympathetic. Being a woman, however people, we know that a woman's worst enemy is her next woman, because it seems as if psychologically, whenever you put down somebody, it makes you look better if you are insecure. So anyways people, back to the story at hand. He approached her Well, she went over, she gave him a hug, being naive once again. Him try to hold her down. She went in the shower, she took a shower. Him actually forced him finger up in her hair. You understand? She went to the shower. Him come, him knock on the door once again. She went in her room. He did the same thing. Again in the couch. So 3 times 1 incident. She was alone with Richie. She felt as if she did not let up or give in, based on the fact that him thick and she little, you know, so them little Asian people, them kind of small from start in a structure. So therefore 3 incidents, 1 hold down, 1 finger, 1 force and take, based on the woman. She was even taking, or she had to take some sort of pill just in case she was pregnant. So therefore, you know, say him let off all sorts of corn in her, which people, I don't even understand that. However, that is what psychopaths, that is what RAPIST do. Now people, these are based on the accounts, based on everything that I've listened to. It is my opinion. I was not there. However, as a reasonable person, or seeing myself as being a juror, in any sorts of case, in any sorts of place, that is a conclusion that I would have come to, and that is a conclusion that I have come to. So anyways, people, she said that when it happened, she contacted the relevant authority in Australia. She went to the station later on that day and she made a report. They called Richie Stevens on the phone, unbeknown to him that he was being recorded. However, people, I guess whenever you're on some sort of speaker, it sounds hollow. The room sounds hollow. So he asked, am I being recorded? She lied that he was being recorded, so therefore she said no. However, he was. He said, based on her account, and if the PowerPoint in Australia have that recording and the detective who was in charge of this case, remember that is exactly what he said. He said that he was sorry. Now people, when you talk about Australia, the other day I did a video and I said that Australia is very serious about crimes like these. However, people, the truth and the fact is that based on facts, they are just as bad, if not as bad as Jamaica. So therefore, they have their own problems as it pertains to jump over fence. So people, they are not perfect. There is room for improvement, big time. So anyways, they said that they are going to bring in Richie and they are going to question him and ask him. Now people, here are the facts. Based on the laws and rules of Australia, most Australian jury, men in their mid-50s, people, it is disadvantageous to females because, hear the thing now. Based on the account of Miss Lim, she said that when she gave her report, her statement, official statement, the cops, the investigators, the detectives, they said that they believe her. However, they don't know if they can convince a jury of, which is supposed to be your peers, which is mostly men in them mid-years, 50. So people, the point that I am trying to make is that it is not that they did not believe her story. However, they did not believe that they could prove that there was no sorts of consent. Because people, remember, there was no sorts of cameras. There was no witness. It was Rich's side of the story versus Lim's side of the story. And even though he said that he was sorry, he also gave a statement and said that there was consent. So people, this is the problem. 2 people, 1 victim, 1 suspect. The victim is saying A, the suspect is saying B. who is the jury going to believe? Especially after it happened. Not one time. The first time she did not leave. She did not rush out the room and seek help. The second time, she did not rush out the room and seek help. And people, that is a problem that most reasonable persons are going to wonder and ponder. However, people, until you are walking in that person's footstep, in that person's shoes, you don't know how you would react. Some people do. However, people, we have to remember, most of this world is naive, and it is obvious on social media. Some people, like the court says, it is not that they did not believe that the incident did not happen. The problem is that it was going to be problematic to prove to the jury in court that there was no sort of consent after 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. So people, again we see what is going on here. Now people, like Richie Stevens said in his interview, in his rebuttal that he posted on YouTube, he said that he called his lawyer, Mr. Christopher Townsend, and then he was advised exactly what to do. Now people, what is even more startling about the whole thing is that, remember I said that there was some sort of tour. Based on the information, based on the accounts of Miss Lim, General Ling, she said that the promoter of the show, he came to the station, and people, remember, money is always the motive. And if this person is a big man in Australia, maybe he can pull strings. If this man have a whole lot of money in Australia, maybe he can pull strings. If this man know that if his tour is cancelled and his top artist is locked up, no sort of money gone. So people, was there some sort of corruption? Was there some sort of bribery? I don't have any information or evidence to prove that it existed. However, people, me just said the possibility. Now people, what we have to remember, Australia, like most places that are WHITE, there's a little thing called, certain people, minority, they don't get the respect. They don't get the justice that they truly deserve or is due. So this lady being a minority, and people, this is the history of Australia. Australia have a set of minorities called the Aborigine. These people face a whole lot of prejudice in their own country, Australia. So people, what say? This lady, people, I am not saying that that is the case, I just say there is a possibility. The next thing, Richie Stevens being the top artist, popular in Australia, on tour, a whole lot of money involved, big tour. So people, like me say, at the end of the day, this is what the case is. You have a popular person, a person with some sort of money, some sort of clout, and then you have a person that is simple, a bit naive, want to get a break. Not saying that she was clout chasing, I am just saying that she was naive. Now people, as it pertains to this relationship and this whole case in Australia, this lady, since the incident on November 12, 2019, she was in Australia. The case was dismissed January 19th, I think, 2021. Based on the information, it is said that this lady, Lim, she has been in Australia all this time seeking counseling. And the next thing is that she did not want to leave, and then the case get thrown out. So therefore, she figured if she was there, she would stand a greater chance, a better chance of getting any sorts of justice. However, people, it seems as if justice was not forthcoming, or justice is not forthcoming as yet. Now people, based on the accounts of her and the boyfriend, he said that when she came back home, she was psychologically traumatized for at least 6 months. He could not touch her. She was always crying. She was always talking in her sleep that she is dirty. Nobody wants her. So people, we see what this lady is going on or what is going on in this lady's life. However, people, as it pertains to Richie Stephens, it is business as usual. Like I said, when it comes to these people, psychopaths, they lie, they deny, they are very manipulative. They feel as if because them have money, them have clout, them have power. And people, truth be told, we've seen the same thing over and over, not only in Jamaica, internationally. R. Kelly, Mr. Cosby, same thing. However, people, at the end of the day, justice will be served. And the truth will always come to light. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.